Hello and welcome to the divisional round of NFL game picks for the 2022 season. And we finally got Chris and Joey back. We got my dead self over here. Dolphin season is over. And, sad day now I'm on your guys' level with
combined 0 playoff losses between the three of us.
Wins.
Or whatever. Combined 1 playoff loss technically, but yeah wins.
So either we could talk about your guys' teams because you guys didn't get to talk about them last week, or we can just talk about what happened last week in the playoffs. It's up to you guys.
Let's talk about the playoff games. That's what's relevant.
Not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, we're on the clock, though. Number 1 overall pick, so see what happens with that. Hopefully we trade it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joey?
Guess we'll wait and see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Kind of holding our team hostage again.
As always.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here. I don't know. Kind of frustrating. Yeah.
Happens. Yeah, and then, the Dolphins, unfortunately, lost last week to the Buffalo Bills. Quite a fight. A lot of people were like, oh, but you guys played pretty well. I understand, yeah. But you want to win. You always want to win. You always want your team to win. That's the part that probably stings the most. Aside from that, they did put up a good fight. And news that happened today, we were recording this on Thursday, and Josh Boyer, defense coordinator for Miami Dolphins, was just fired. So definitely going to be searching for something. Probably looking best case scenario. A lot of the fans are clamoring for Vic Fangio. I'm on board with it. We'll see what happens, though, what the Dolphins make a move. And, let's see what McDaniel can do getting an entire staff of his own, because he inherited Brian Flores' staff from before. It's nothing against that. Just
it's only up from here for them, really.
Yeah. What about last week? What do you guys think about the games?
Well,
Good games.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that I've been saying about a lot of these guys have been kind of proving right.
Mm-hmm.
There was a result that did ultimately prove right for me. The Vikings are frauds. They lost to the Giants. Shout out to the G-men and shout out to my grandparents. Don't really have any Giants stuff, so sporting the Derek Jeter, little pinstripes, Yankee pride, kind of deal. So good for them. Hopefully they can get a win this week. It's going to be huge. But, and then Josh Allen, man, you just not proven well in the clutch, like I've been saying for a while. Not saying that you can't do it, or not saying that you don't have the ability to do it, but just saying you haven't done it. So it's time to actually, win a game in convincing fashion.
Yeah, that's one thing. Not even being biased towards the Dolphins. He let the Dolphins take way too long, and throwing 2 interceptions. I mean,
fumble, it's ridiculous.
This fumble recovery touchdown was huge for the Dolphins. Without that, I think they go on the drive there and they probably end up scoring.
When I saw Josh Allen on that whole game, it looked like they were down 17-0.
Mm-hmm.
Just his whole
demeanor,
facial expressions, the way he walked in and out of the huddle after a pass, an incomplete pass, even a complete pass, he was just I don't know. There was just something about him where he seems super on edge in these one-and-done scenarios where, I don't know.
Did you also see him, after he threw the interception, that him and Wilkins were kind of going back and forth?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Hey, he can freaking take a hit, though. He was freaking he had him rocked a little bit, so it was good for him.
I felt like he lost his temper a bit there because Wilkins is just doing normal blocking on an interception, and then he's just
come on.
Yeah,
that's one guy's job is literally to kick your ass, and then your job is to throw the ball and not react in that way.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? So,
Chris, what are your thoughts?
I was surprised the game was that close, to be honest with you. I thought the Bills were going to blow them out, just because it was a third-string rookie quarterback playing against Josh Allen and the Bills. But, yeah, like you mentioned, it's not a great performance that you want to see out of Josh Allen when, you're trying to see if he's going to go to the Super Bowl and potentially win a Super Bowl this year, which I think now is probably it's an easier route than I think ever, honestly.
For the Bills?
For them to get to the Super Bowl, yeah.
I don't know about all that, dude.
That.
We'll have to see how this next week shakes out, but I don't know, man. He definitely needs to step it up for sure, and the time is now.
Hell yeah.
Any other games that surprised you?
That Jaguars game was surprising.
That was
Seeing
awesome.
them come back. being down, 27-0?
Yeah.
And coming all the way back. I went to bed, unfortunately,
like that Chargers fan too.
Yeah, so I went to bed. The 49ers was not surprising. I didn't think Purdy would throw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he went up. I remember, I was looking at the score at halftime. I'm like, oh, all right, Seattle's up, but I was already expecting San Fran to win. And then I look at it again. It's 41-17. I'm like, what the hell? Just happened? It was just a beatdown.
Same thing to me for that. I saw it and then looked up and I was like, whoa. But I think he'll struggle against Dallas's defense. We'll talk about that later. I wasn't surprised that Dallas beat Tom Brady and the Bucs. The Bucs were just awful all year.
Oh yeah.
Just not a fan of how they played and looked all year. So I kind of saw it coming. The Ravens and Bengals game I thought was kind of closer than I expected.
That was a little bit pretty entertaining, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Sam Hubbard.
But
Sam Hubbard.
We're gonna talk about
the standings.
The mayor guy. 4 or 5 field goal misses?
Maher.
Yeah,
they said the mayor. I'm like,
I thought it was Mayer.
No, Maher.
Yeah, Maher. Jeez, man.
Maher.
That one hurt to watch,
yeah.
Man. That was cringy.
It is what it is. I mean, at least they won the game. But yeah, if it ended up being a close game, it would have been a lot more stressful, after the fact. But yeah, it was bad. It was pretty pathetic. I mean,
yeah, just to add on to what Joey said, they were scoring so many touchdowns that it wasn't that much of a big deal. But imagine if they couldn't move the ball and they were just getting in enough range for a normal field goal, and he had missed just 4 flat out field goals.
Left 4 points on the board.
Yeah, well,
that's BS.
Yeah, and then imagine if they're actual field goals, it would have been
12
points or more. So definitely something that hopefully doesn't come back to bite them this week against the 49ers. I think they're going to need all that stuff. But let's get into the standings. Now, since there's way less games, the leaderboard is slimming down.
Yeah.
There's no chance of catching Steve, I believe. Even if Steve gets every game incorrect and everyone else, my Eddie, who is the closest one, even if he gets all of them right and Steve gets all of them wrong, even then, no chance of catching Steve. So Steve has won the league. He has 183 wins, 94 losses. He went 5-1 last week in the wild card round. Eddie went 6-0. He was the only one that got every game right.
Perfect week.
Yep. He went 100. He has 174 wins, 103 losses. We have myself, 171 wins, 106 losses in third place. Matt is right behind me, 170, 107, fourth place. Now we got Dougie Fresh.
Yeah. I went 5-1 last week. I'm at 165, 112. It's going to be hard to try and catch Matt. Doubt that I'll be able to, but we'll see. I got some different picks here, I think, than he does. And then right below me is this guy.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Steve already won the league and stuff, so it's kind of already set in stone. But I could still try to lap this guy over here. Maybe even try to.
We'll see.
I don't think I can catch Austin, so it kind of sucks. But anyway, yeah, let's see if I can catch up with Chris this week. He got me on that Cowboys Brady game. I was gonna try to pick Brady, but didn't come through. Is what it is.
And then who else is behind you?
Behind me is. Sorry, I clicked out the pick names.
Good.
Mark and DJ. DJ moved down to 8th place, and Mark jumped him, so he's at 7th, not dead last anymore. Yeah, let's see if one of those guys can jump up and maybe jump me, maybe jump Chris. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And, it's going to be a tough road, especially for the first game we have. Jacksonville Jaguars are heading to the number 1 seed in Kansas City to face the Chiefs. And Kansas City is favored by 8.5 points. Money line at minus 480 and over-under stat at 52.5. Really tough spot, like I alluded to, for the Jaguars. Although they did good and came back and had their best efforts against the Chargers last week, you're not going to get that same opportunity against this Kansas City Chiefs team because they're not going to stall out in the same way that the Chargers did. And they're not going to have a lack of play calling like Brandon Staley did. How do you run the ball 10% of the time when you're up 27 points? You need to just run the ball, kill as much clock as possible. That was a lapse in judgment by the Chargers. Kudos to the Jacksonville Jaguars, though. They just had a sensational game. I was telling a friend, hey, like, even though this is the score right now, I don't think it's 100% over. They still have a chance, and they had a miraculous comeback. It was awesome to see. With all that being said, though, I got to go with the favorite here and go with the Chiefs. I think they're just flat out the better team. There's someone from the Chiefs, Mecole Hardman. He is out for this game. So I don't know if that plays anything into your guys' decisions, but just wanted to put it out there.
It definitely doesn't. I mean, the thing about this is, I didn't know if Chris wanted to go. I'm sorry about that. I'll make it quick because I know he loves the Jags. I'm going to ride with the Jags, though, because the Chiefs' defense hasn't been very great. I mean, consistently over the past couple seasons and this season, the secondary hasn't been there. As long as Trevor cannot turn the ball over 4 times, 4 or 5, whatever interceptions he had.
I know he had 3.
All to the same. 3 to Asante Samuel.
Yeah.
Dude, don't do that. And I mean,
easier said than done.
I mean, yeah, but I think this game will be close, man. I don't know.
It's gonna be a close game.
Like, at the end of the day, you have the battle of 2 really smart head coaches who have been here, done that, Super Bowl winning head coaches. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to say the better coach will win the game because Andy Reid's obviously great. If Doug Peterson ends up walking out here a successful winner, or, whatever the heck the case is, it's not going to. Nobody's the lesser after this, but we'll see who coaches a better game.
Does it show up on the
No,
camera?
you gotta break it down.
Going with Duval, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta
You know
say it
why?
with some pride, dude.
Duval.
And you know why? Trevor Lawrence has never lost on a Saturday.
Jesus. Oh my God.
And this game is on a Saturday.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring it up, but here we go.
So he's not starting today.
All right.
I'm riding with the Jags. Like you mentioned, their Kansas City's defense hasn't been great. Yeah, the offense is always going to be high firing. I think Jacksonville can potentially keep up enough to keep the game close, and I think their defense is better than KC's. Hopefully that number 1 overall pick,
Yeah.
Walker, could maybe get after the quarterback a little bit. in this game. Yeah, him
He's a
too. That dude's
So
a
good,
beast.
bro.
But yeah, hopefully they can get after Mahomes because that's, their kryptonite is obviously getting after the quarterback and, hitting him a lot. So hopefully that happens. Doug Peterson, I like him as a coach. I think he gets bad teams to do great things, and I think he could get another team to do that.
I agree with
This
that.
Are you saying they're a bad team, though?
I mean, they're not the most talented roster
exactly,
in the world. I don't
like,
think that's
not a bad
that's
team,
a question.
Not a bad team, but like a team that you wouldn't expect. Like
Yeah.
when in the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, you didn't expect the Eagles to win that year.
Exactly.
So this
Nope.
might be their Super Bowl,
100%.
beating Kansas City.
Who knows?
We'll
But-
see.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think the Jaguars are a bad team. I think they're like
Not a
a
bad team.
mediocre team, like at worst. Like they're in the playoffs for a reason. They string along a lot of wins.
I mean, historically, they're irrelevant, but,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right now, they're doing very good,
Yeah.
so.
At the end of the day, though, I still think Kansas City pulls this one out just because, like, they just have the experience. I think the Jaguars kind of getting a little bit too full of themselves, you think? Maybe filling them up at Waffle House and stuff after the game?
I don't know. Waffle
Nah.
House, it wouldn't be my move, but hey,
I
to
don't
each
know
his
about all
own.
that.
Would you pick Waffle House over Steak and Shake?
Hell yeah, dude.
For real?
Bro, come on.
All right.
Stop it.
Waffle House over Denny's?
Yeah.
Jeez.
First of all.
Waffle House is fire.
First of all.
Waffle House over like a downtown pizza joint that's open late?
No.
Oh, well, there we go. Pizza
Well,
wins.
duh, but where are you going for a good downtown pizza joint in Jacksonville?
I don't know, man. Jacksonville is a sketchy city.
Exactly.
Honestly.
We going over to
We're
the
going to
Waffle
Waffle
House.
House.
We're going over to the Waffle House. We're getting a
Hey, you
we're
know
getting a
what?
Texas bacon cheesesteak melt, double hash, double covered, and smothered, baby. That's how we roll. Maybe a little
Cheese
waffle
and
on the
nuggets.
side if we're feeling ourselves.
Well,
Cup of Joe?
Yeah, maybe a cup of Joe, maybe a little apple juice, maybe, hey, bro, maybe get a little soda, add the
Whoa.
cherry juice in it.
Apple juice over orange juice, dude?
Oh, hell yeah.
What?
Any day.
Jeez, that's
Any
a hot
day.
take. That's a hot take. What about you? Apple juice?
I'm just gonna continue this conversation another time. What I want to do is talk about is the Waffle House open in North Philadelphia, because guess what? Lincoln Financial Field is gonna be possibly hosting the NFC Championship if the Giants.
Would have to hit up a Sheetz or a Wawa or something.
Yeah, get a little hoagie.
Wow.
As you can tell, we're all very hungry. But yeah, the New York Giants are facing the Philadelphia Eagles for the third time this season. And it's not going to be the best for the Giants. But with their performance last week, there is a little bit of hope. We'll go to the little Giant resident over here, little Joey Gross.
Usually don't rep anybody else but the Pack, but we're not even a contender. So, gotta give love to the other side of the fam. Like I alluded to, not gonna dip too much into the Giants gear, but I will rep the pinstripes for them for today. Giants had a great game against the Vikings. Daniel Jones had probably the best game of his entire career. I mean, everybody has led you to believe that he's a terrible player and a terrible quarterback, and I guess doesn't belong, and that's their only issue or something like that. I don't know. I think Daniel Jones might be here to stay for a good minute. He's pretty decent. I think that they can build around him. I think the big concern on the Giants is their wide receivers.
100%.
But, hey, man, that blueprint that they had against the Vikings worked, but you're running into probably the best team in the NFC. Still, I know that the number one seed, but the San Francisco 49ers are heating up. So, probably, in my opinion, still the best team in the NFC. I'm going to go with the Giants, though, anyway, just because I got to ride with them. But, this is a matchup where Philly comes in off a bye, overconfident, and lets the Giants, a divisional opponent who's played them twice this year, lost twice, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, I always say you learn more in a loss than you do from a win, so we'll see.
Chris, who you got?
I'm going to disagree. I'm taking the Eagles at home.
Yeah.
That's two away teams you've taken to start off. I'm not feeling that. The Vikings defense stinks, dude, and this Eagles defense is way, way, way better and built to win a Super Bowl. So this defense is going to get after Daniel Jones. I think he's going to struggle. On the opposite side, though, Jalen Hurts, we haven't seen him play football in like a month now, pretty much.
He played the last game.
Last week.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot. But he's had a week. I mean, he had a lot of time off to try to get healthy. He played last week, had a week off. Should be all right. I'm taking the home team.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. I kind of agree with Joey, though. Like, this last thing this Eagles team wants to do is come out, like, slow and, like, lackadaisical, because then they're just going to be thrown in a position that they're playing from behind. And the Giants could run the clock if they really need to, because they have White Vic.
Vanilla Vic. Yeah.
Vanilla Vic. And then they also have Saquon Barkley. And then Brady's not doing bad either. So, like,
Kayvon Thibodeau.
But, yeah, their backfield is not doing bad at all in terms of running the ball. So, you don't want to surrender a lead to this Giants team, because they can make you pay for it. Even though the spread is set at over a touchdown at 7.5 points. Philly's favored by the money line is minus 365 for the Eagles, and then over under at 48.
If I didn't have any ties to the Giants, I'd definitely ride with the Eagles, just because, like I said, they've been hot all year. But the Giants are just the type of team to upset them. I already saw on the plane ride back that they were already watching film. Daniel Jones and Saquon were already watching film.
Yeah, they weren't like celebrating. They were just
they're locked in.
That's
they're
awesome.
already locked in. I love that. That's like the Vince Lombardi mentality. I'm going to celebrate for 30 minutes, have my cigar, then I'm going downstairs and watching film.
Yeah.
Love that shit. Get a win. Shock the world. What the hell?
Yeah, and on top of that, this is the common trend in NFL. It's like either like the top seed is so dominant that like it's not even a worry. But the Eagles have sidestepped and like had little things there. I understand you didn't have your leading QB in there.
Yeah.
But that could be just like rubbing off on the team now. Now they're going to think like have some doubts going into the game. That definitely could put them into jeopardy, I think. It's not going to be a cakewalk for these Eagles, but I think they pull it out at the end.
Yeah.
Any last words, Chris?
Totally forgot that Jalen Hurts played. And
there we go.
now that I'm thinking about it, he wore an I'm Back Michael Jordan shirt too. So that's a double L on me.
Yeah, dude. Fake fan.
Oh, well.
But
It
hey,
happens.
it happens.
You want to take us to this next game?
Yeah.
First game of Sunday.
I like this game. And there's a lot to talk about, but we'll start with what the game actually is. Cincinnati Bengals at Buffalo Bills. We're talking earlier about Josh Allen. Does he have it? Is he that guy that can win? Does he have the killer, the Mamba mentality? And then on the other side of it, we've already seen Joe Burrow do that. We've seen him be able to get to the Super Bowl. This is going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a close game. I'm still riding with the home team, Buffalo. I hate to feel like a broken record, but they're playing for more. They got more motivation than the rest of the NFL does at this point, playing for their fallen brother.
Not fallen.
Well, hurt, injured brother.
There we go.
Out. I mean,
Yeah,
technically-
fallen is referred to as you know what. So
Nah, I don't know.
hey,
But
if you fall, you
he's
can get
out.
back up.
That's what I'm saying. So he's back up. Maybe we'll see him on the sideline hopefully at some point throughout the playoffs. But I'm still going to ride with the Bills here. I'm looking forward to this game, though.
Joey.
Yeah, let's try this again. We got Skyline Chili versus Buffalo Wings, two of my favorite foods. More food talk. I'm going with Skyline Chili in this one. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. Saw an interview today. Joe Mixon was kind of upset that they were already kind of selling tickets to a potential Chiefs-Bills AFC Championship game. And he said that was like super disrespectful to the Bengals to even kind of already think ahead like that. And I'd have to agree, man. Buffalo did not look great against Miami. And for the one almost quarter that we saw play against these two teams, the Bengals looked like they were kind of in control for that game. I mean, just kind of going off of the 10 minutes that we saw of play. They already had a touchdown on the board and they were driving. So, I mean, obviously the Bills have to win, right? They're supposed to be the 2023 Super Bowl champions. We've been billing this shit since the NFL kickoff game. Everybody picking the Bills the 2023 Super Bowl champions, right? Well, let's prove it. You got the Bengals coming into town. Joe Burrow, who's a stud, by the way. I mean, this defense is no slouch except for Eli Apple. But, if you could just go after him all game, you should be good. But, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. But I'm going with Cincinnati.
Nice. Joey, you converted me. I was going for the Bills. Here I am now going for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's go.
You're right. I think Cincinnati has a bigger chip on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, and this is nothing against the whole DeMar Hamlin situation, but they feel slighted because they had a chance and it wasn't really anyone's fault, so there's no one really to blame. But the fact is, now they had a possible chance to get the bye. They had a possible chance of being the first seed, having home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They don't have that now. They're on the road in Buffalo, the team that everything happened earlier that made this everything how it is. Now there's a chance to finish it off. And
Exactly.
I think the Bengals can do it. But that is if Buffalo comes out and plays like they did last week. Because, if they played the same way they did last week against this Bengals team, they will get destroyed really bad. Because imagine how you're surrendering all that stuff to a third-string quarterback, backup running back, and, a pretty banged-up defense, and you're allowing a lot of stuff to happen.
Josh Allen needs to play the game of his life. Simple. I mean, it's I don't know. Can't turn the ball over how many times a game? How many times has he done this in the freaking playoffs? In his first playoff game against the Texans, was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, he freaking looked like hell. Or one of the
Jaguars. One of those three teams. One of
those games. I remember first seeing him in the playoffs. I'm like, oh, this guy can't freaking cooperate under pressure. And then it's been year after year, unless you have a coin toss to blame it on, or a crap defense that lets Gabe Davis score 4 freaking touchdowns in a game. Shout out to UCF and Orlando over there to Chris. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Prove it.
All right, Joey, you're pretty riled up. So take us into the last game.
Oh, we got a freaking hell of a matchup here historically. The Cowboys are traveling to San Francisco. 49ers, Cowboys, NFC Divisional round. Winner goes to the NFC Championship game. Most likely in Philadelphia, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. Freaking Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is going on a tear right now. And just, I mean, he looks incredible. The guy's making dime passes.
It looks like he can do no wrong.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. But he's going to be running into a really good defense with Micah Parsons, obviously, and they're giving him some pressure. And then their secondary is no slouch either. I know everybody gets on Trayvon Diggs just because he only gets picks or whatever. But they got a hell of a defense. They got a hell of a team. But they're so beatable. Like, any day of the week, they can just get rolled over. Prime time. Dak kind of showed out last week in prime time. Let's see what happens again. I got the 49ers, man. They're freaking explosive. I hate the 49ers. You know, they're obviously the Packers' rival. I can't stand them. But let's see a Mr. Irrelevant do it. What the frick? You know, what the hell?
Chris?
I'm opposite of you again, man. I'm going
right.
with the boys. I think they're I don't know, they're the better team in my opinion. As far as, I don't know. It's hard. It's tough. It's tough. I think that they're the better overall team at this point of the season. Although if San Francisco if San Francisco had a quarterback, I would be taking San Francisco. I don't trust Brock Purdy. And like you mentioned, this Dallas D is really good. So I think same thing like I've been saying. If they get after the quarterback, they're going to win games just like the Eagles are going to get after Daniel Jones. I think they're going to try to pressure Brock Purdy and have him make some mistakes, and I think that secondary will make you pay. So I'm going with Dallas. It's on the road. I'd be more convinced if it was at home.
Yeah, they suck
in
in
Jerry
their own
World,
homes, yeah.
But I'm still going with the boys.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, this is a really tough one. You know, this is the closest game in terms of, like, gambling odds. Like, San Fran is favored by 4. That's the slimmest odds of any of the games this weekend. And then they're favored on the money line, minus 195. Over-under set at 46. I think the over hits. These are two explosive offenses, but two really good defenses, too. So it's like, should I go over? Should I go under? I'm not sure. I do think that Brock Purdy is slightly due for, like, a bad game.
It's got to come to an end at some point.
And he hasn't had a bad game yet, which is like good but also concerning because well, who knows, like he's faced some adversity, I admit that, but like aside from that, he just hasn't been like okay, like the 49ers are in a tight game at the end of the game, you know, like
I really think that it's a true testament to coaching and how coachable that kid is when they're down by 1 point to the Seahawks at halftime. He didn't look great in the first half, looked very flustered on a lot of occasions. We go back in the half, we come back out, and then they win 41-17. The defense didn't allow a single touchdown, but frickin' A, piled on frickin' how many extra points. That's awesome. Like, I don't know. I don't think the question should be whether we trust Brock Purdy, but do we trust Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense against such a great defense? Like, Dak and this offense, their starters played against the Washington Commanders in that last week, looked horrible.
And their defense is close, but not as close as to
it's a decent defense, but it's not the 49ers defense here. We'll see what happens with Dak, but hey, man, you got to put up against the freaking. You won against the crappy Buccaneers. Congratulations. You looked like an all-star. Now it's time to look amazing against the 49ers. If you could do that, you might be fitted for a ring.
Hey. Wise words from Joey, even though he's picking the 49ers. Yeah, this is honestly the toughest one for me to pick. I'm still teeter-tottering. I'm going to go with the 49ers for now. I just think that defense could really make the difference for the 49ers because – like you said, last week they played a not so great defense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were very winded and lapse of coverage. Like they would leave guys open on like open touchdowns. It wasn't the best defense. Given now this 49ers team is going to be, I think, a lot better in terms of that, and they've shown the ability to shut down teams. So, you know, it's for me personally, it's just going to come down to Brock Purdy. Can he sustain this level of success? And like keep guiding this team into the right spot because otherwise they're going to be in a tough spot.
The run game and the defense can always bail him out.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, any words on this one?
No, still riding with the boys. I think they're gonna get it done. We'll see.
All right.
They might be back.
Yeah.
Might have to
The
get
boys are
yourself,
back.
Might have to get yourself a little Dak jersey, a little Prescott or something.
Big Dak guy over here. Anyways, the playoffs, anything can happen. Joey took.
Any given Sunday.
Did you take all the road teams?
I took all but one road team,
Not
and
the
that was
Cowboys.
not the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. There we
So
go.
we'll see what happens, man. I want some craziness, man. I want a Bengals Jaguars AFC Championship game.
That'll be
Let's
interesting.
please make this happen because
It'll happen in Cincinnati if that's the case.
I mean, who cares where the hell it happens
Yeah.
as long as it's not in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, like what the frick? Like let's go, dude. Like that. I want craziness. Let's get a freaking Bengals Jags AFC Championship game. And Mr. Irrelevant and Daniel Jones NFC Championship game.
There you go. That's his playoff NFC Championship prediction. My thing that would be the craziest is the Cowboys end up hosting the NFC Championship against the New York Giants. That would be the craziest thing ever.
That's
But-
why the Eagles need to win. If
Yeah.
that's just like oh man, it's just awful.
But I'm still rocking with the 49ers. I think that would be just an absurd situation had it be true. Chris, any wild speculations you want to go on?
Jags, Bengals would be cool. Jags, Bills would be cool too. But I don't know, man. The most experienced team here is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're the most experienced and inexperienced team, which is like a weird limbo spot. that they're at.
Technically, all these teams are super inexperienced, but
Mhm.
out of all of them, they're the most inexperienced or most experienced because they've been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. Bengals went to one. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think that the Bengals have a lot to prove.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Anybody that's sleeping on the Bengals, dude, they're coming out swinging. I hate to tell you that they're not going to roll over for anybody. Joe Burrow's not a slouch. They got good coaching. Their run game is incredible. I mean, let's go. Let's go.
And guess what, Joey? That is the team with the most experience in the playoffs. They're the ones that went to the Super Bowl last year.
I mean, yeah, but you can't count out Andy Reid, who is a very highly experienced head
100%.
coach, and Pat Mahomes, who's been there twice in the show. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the divisional round of NFL game picks. We'll come back next week for the conference championship, and it's coming to an end, boys.
It is.
It's gonna be sad.
Yeah, it went by fast.
It really
Keeps
did.
flying. It
But we're
keeps flying.
not done yet.
We ain't finished.
I think we ain't done yet.
Well, that wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.